Alright, then we're good to go. What episode is this?
I don't know. 60?
TMG Podcast. And we're still testing our microphone. It's
November 30.
November 30, episode number 60, and it's gonna be me and Miggy doing a live cast today. Carlos is out doing something. I'm not sure what he's doing, but
space.
Enjoying family time or work time or some kind of
family work time.
Yeah, that. So me and Miggy are gonna carry you through this week's podcast, rather.
It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Oh, yeah. We've got some. We're going to be let's playing something later. That should be interesting. But for the moment, Black Friday weekend, I guess. Lots of sales going on. Steam sales. Origin had a sale, I think.
Origin has sales?
Good Old Games had a sale. Of course, if you're in the United States, you're getting plenty of good deals right now on video game stuff. I haven't heard any horror stories, though.
Of like people
stampedes
dying?
Or anything, though.
I heard, I think they have it in Europe now, Black Friday.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, I think it's their first time. So, like, I've heard stories of people, like, jumping across multiple escalators.
Can you imagine having Black Friday sale here? It would be terrible.
People would die.
People would die.
Like, not even jokingly, people would die. Because it happened before.
It did on the afternoon show.
The freaking Wheelie Time show, whatever that was.
People would freaking die. So actually, so normally we start off with discussing what we've been playing, but I wanted to ask me to talk about his Amiibo buying experiences this week.
I've had multiple adventures.
Because we've got Amiibos.
Finally got him here.
We got him here. The first wave is out. And I gotta say, the figures are a lot better looking than I thought they would.
I'm currently holding a Sheamus figure. Good old armored Sheamus.
And it's pretty darn detailed, actually. And even the shading in some areas is very good. So I'm quite impressed. I'm actually curious to see the other ones now. But you say Donkey Kong is the best looking one so far.
Yeah. He looks great. Like, that might be because of like his trophy pose as well.
Does he got all the fur going on?
Yeah, he's got like molded fuzz up the wazoo.
It's awesome then.
And I guess because of like how big his face is, it's easy to mold and all that.
Yeah.
Compared to like Link. Who's like,
I'm assuming the more human-like figures are probably the most difficult.
You remember the first photos that came out comparing the E3 prototypes to the production models, and Marth had this like gummy face.
Yeah.
It doesn't look as bad as that.
Okay.
It's not as good, of course, as the production, the pre-production photos.
Right.
But still, like, it looks decently molded.
No, that's why
considering its size, you see how small the head is.
Yeah, the figures like Samus here stands about
like half a coin, maybe.
About 2 to 3 inches. Yeah, 3 inches tall. But yeah, definitely the more realistic figures have more details to work with.
The paintwork on them is like there's so much on them.
That's what I'm wondering too, because this is obviously not. It's not like we have a assembly line of dudes painting these.
I'm not sure.
It's machine painted.
It's probably machines.
But for a machine painted figure, it's way detailed. Because I've seen other, like if you look at other similar figures of this size, like
at this price point.
Well, not necessarily at that price point, but like even toys, like those Marvel figures that are a little bit bigger, like they don't have as good a paint job as these do. And
maybe like Gashapon figures.
Yeah, they do. They look. But yeah,
they look about as equal to that, but made so that they're more durable, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good comparison.
You got kids lugging.
Or you got the option of of painting them yourself, like a lot.
Like what a lot of people have been doing now.
Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be some custom color amiibos.
They gave the villager an axe, a bloody axe. It's amazing.
Well, the villager is a psycho anyway. So anyway, let's go through your because these are hard to find right now. Like They're selling out left and right.
They came out yesterday, November 29. Apparently, we talked to like Ate Flor from DB Shang, Data Blitz, and she said that the figures arrived Friday night.
Right.
But they didn't announce them because they had no price yet.
Right.
They got the price around maybe 1 p.m. yesterday,
right,
November 29, and boom, started selling like hotcakes. There were people posting on Facebook like, "Oh, this branch is sold out of these characters," and I got Samus today, but I had to have this reserved because yesterday they only got one Samus in the entire case.
Right.
And they had like multiple Marios, multiple Kirby's, multiple Pikachus, but the other characters were like limited stock. And when I got to Shang, after I heard about the Amiibos, I encountered this one dude who got to Samus first. Would not let go, man. I was creeping around because he looked indecisive. He was like, "What am I gonna get?" Yeah. But like once he picked up the Samus and he saw I was there, he's like, "I'm not putting this down." So like I saw Link and I did the same. I'm not putting this down.
Did you mention a guy who like had a whole bunch of them and like was looking, like?
Oh, that was him. Like he was pointing each and every figure, but the Samus he would not put down.
Oh, but he did buy a whole set, right?
No, he bought Samus and Wii Fit Trainer, which were like the last ones there.
Oh, right, okay.
Then he left after a while.
But it's crazy though, like just the one game that's been released, Smash Brothers with the Amiibos, and suddenly like the game is out of stock everywhere. The figures are out of stock everywhere.
People are having trouble.
And I'm seeing people buying Wii U units now with Smash Brothers.
Doesn't it feel great?
Yeah, it does. It's like, thank God, Nintendo, you're doing something right. Finally.
They were banking on Smash Brothers so hard too, so I'm glad to see it's working.
I'm wondering, what do you think will be like the least wanted Amiibo?
It's fucking Yoshi.
Yoshi?
I hate that dinosaur, man.
It's not Sonic or...
Oh no, Sonic's popular. It's gonna get sold out.
Really?
Either that or there's gonna be like a lot of Marios, just for like the sheer number of Marios.
Mario's kind of like the flagship guy, right? So I guess.
So yeah, that's why there's a lot of him in the case. Like it's like how figures have like a common, uncommon,
right,
something like that. That might be it. Or it might just be the production cost as well. Because you got Samus here who has like full-on metallic paint everywhere.
I'm pretty sure figures like... Because Mario's like kind of cartoony, right? So his features are big and...
He's got like red.
Pretty much easy to paint. Yeah, it's like 3 colors basically. And Samus here is... Well, actually, you could argue she's also a 3-color scheme, but... They've got enough detail with the black.
Different shades of yellow, and yellow is like a hard pigment to work with.
Yeah, well. And it's not even yellow; it's like a shiny gold, metallic gold color. Right.
The more like anime-looking guys.
I mean, from a modeler's eye, like there are still panel lines you could definitely like wash through if you really wanted.
Yeah, there's like molding lines,
but. Yeah, or like I could imagine, like if you wanted to get rid of all those molding lines, you could probably sand that off and then repaint it into another shade of gold. But for out of the box, they look great.
They look really good.
They look fantastic, and I think they look actually better than a lot of the Spyro figures and the Disney.
I don't know. I think the Skylander figures look nice, but the appeal is certainly a lot different than.
No, the Skylander figures though they look so. Like they're like generic fantasy things, though.
Oh yeah, they're like just big dragons.
Yeah, at least,
for the most part.
At least the Nintendo ones are like characters you know. And like, the Marvel ones also.
Oh yeah, the Marvel ones look really simple now compared to these.
They do. They look. I would hope that the Marvel ones would come out and they'd have the same.
Like, the Marvel ones look great, but then if you look at these side by side, the Amiibos look much better.
Yeah, and it kind of makes me wish now that they designed the Marvel figures to look like in a more realistic sense than the kind of cartoony look they got going on now.
I think it's fine, but like it might just be then because of, you don't know how the Japanese are with their action figures.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they like details everywhere. Like they even have candy that you can make into like a shape of a cake or something.
Sorry, I'm coughing all over the place. But yeah, that definitely so I'm expecting these to. This is the first wave that's come out, right? So
yeah.
Next wave will be in
like sometime in December. Like who knows how or when are we going to get them? That's
going to be under a lot of kids' Christmas trees, I'm sure. And we were discussing that this is probably like the prototype right now for the eventual, inevitable Pokemon Amiibos.
How can you not do this with Pokemon?
Yeah, exactly.
You got like 700 Pokemon now. Imagine all that.
Oh, imagine the money.
Remember all those DS jokes where it prints money?
Yeah.
It's coming back.
No, and that's the thing. Like, this is supposed to work with your 3DS in some way, right?
Yeah.
So, the argument that the guys who make Pokemon, I forget their name.
Game Freak?
Yeah,
the Pokemon company?
The Game Freak guys are insisting it be mobile all the time. That won't hold water anymore because, like, you can use these figures on your 3DS eventually.
Yeah.
Right? So, my God, like, the sheer amount of money that would make.
I think even the new 3DS has NFC built in already. So you won't
really?
need that whatever white thing they're going to release. That's
but
what I
can
heard.
you imagine that? Like, that basically means you can battle anywhere. Like, you just bring your Pokemon, which you have trained, and save the data onto the figure, and then...
And, like, it's different than, like, just bringing your game card, because you have something that physically represents what
exactly.
you're going to put
I'm just wondering how it would handle evolution. Like, would you buy, like, a...
No,
would you buy, like, a Charizard set, and then it would have, like, each level of evolution of Charizard?
No, I'd assume it'll work like maybe a trading card game, where you need the base figure first,
yeah,
and then somehow link your save or something.
Link your save to that, and then
upgrade
it to a Charizard.
Or it could be that you can evolve it mid-battle or something like a
Mega Evolution sort of thing. Well, that's the thing that they
maybe that's what they're trying to work out.
They'd have to figure that out, but still, at the end of the day, there's how many Pokemon? 700
plus now.
That's 700 plus Amiibos.
700
That's
plus
and people,
money.
And people are going to get freaking trying to collect all
of them. If you thought iOS games had whales.
Yeah, exactly. And even iOS have sort of, like, have you seen those little, like, WWE?
Yeah, the WWE and, like, the Batman toys.
The Lego Batman stuff.
Where you put the figure on the screen.
And it does something, right? So
it's amazing how the Wii U has NFC built in and nobody just knew about it. Like what's it called? The Near Freak?
Actually, I read something where someone brought an Amiibo to, like, a train.
Like a tournament, yeah. And he got, like, 3rd place.
No, yeah.
It was a Fox Amiibo, and he got, like, the losers finals.
With
bodying everyone. Imagine, like, they fight like a player and a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
Where they have the mind games and skills of the player, but like, you press a button, so I'm going to block.
Right.
Like, was that reaction?
The reaction of a robot, exactly. But
it's crazy.
But I'm also wondering, like, will they be really? Because if you look at the box, it says Super Smash Brothers on it.
I'm assuming that certain games will have their own line.
Their own line, right?
Because remember when they announced Amiibos,
yeah,
the Mario figure that they had, like, for the demo of it was a different pose.
Was it?
If you have,
oh,
like,
so you might end up having, like, 3 versions of Mario. You have a Smash Brothers Mario.
Yeah, Smash Brothers Mario,
and then, like, a regular Mario and something, right?
I think for now these sets of Amiibos are set to work with Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8,
and Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule Warriors, and I think the next upcoming Mario Party, and maybe, like, Captain Toad or something. But, like, for now, the Zelda, at least Link, maybe.
I would be very interested to see if Nintendo would eventually be open to getting third-party figures made in Amiibos. Like, if they could make, like, a Wonderful 101 set, that would be kind of cool.
But they kind of own that then, so...
That's true, but it's Platinum. Bayonetta. Like, would you?
No, Bayonetta's Sega, but yeah, she could count as third party. Oh, dude, the Bayonetta.
Well, I mean, they've already got Sonic and Pac-Man, yeah. But, like, let's say, like, they come up with a totally, like, let's say, okay, for whatever dumb reason, Assassin's Creed or Watch Dogs that still hasn't come out for the Wii U.
Oh, you're right. I forgot.
So Watch Dogs comes out. Well, do we have Amiibos for Watch Dogs? I mean.
You're going to have, like, fucking, what's her name? Bad Boy 17. The girl with the tattoos everywhere.
I'm part of an elite secret hacker group, and I tattoo it all over me.
And I show my cleavage everywhere.
Yeah.
You're going to have the cell phone as a character.
As far as I know, Ubisoft has kind of burnt itself out on... because remember they had that U-Draw tablet at some point, and that flopped big time?
Oh, shit, I remember that.
That flopped, like, huge. So I know they'll be very wary about anything... tablety.
They've been fucking up more constantly, like, as it goes on.
Well, no, to be fair, Far Cry 4 is a very good game.
Yeah, but it released with what? Assassin's Creed and what's the other?
Big release, Dragon Age. But that doesn't.
That's what EA.
Oh yeah.
Well, Watch Dogs came out this year.
Yeah. What was it this year or last year? I don't recall anymore. But yeah, I mean, what I mean to say is like Ubisoft, they're not fucking up to us any more or less.
They're admitting it faster though.
But yeah, at least because especially for they are admitting it faster. They read their apology for Unity, which apparently was
it's gonna have like 180 fixes or something in the next patch.
That's a huge number of patches. So
like the Amiibos part. Currently they work with Hyrule Warriors. At least Link does, and I think if you
what about like Zelda and Ganondorf? Well, but eventually I'm guessing they would
because like I think what I heard is when you pop Link into Hyrule Warriors, you get a free item every day.
Oh, okay. Wow, a free item every day. That's quite generous.
Yeah, and like, they've been plucking out free characters now as well for Hyrule Warriors.
I just hope Nintendo doesn't, do you think eventually they might sell, limited edition Mario whatever, like maybe 1,000 pieces only or something.
Giant Mario.
or some dumb shit like that. Or alternate colors.
Or Japan likes to do that.
They're crazy
with
I'm
that.
pretty sure they'll release alternate colors.
They fucking release 7-Eleven Gundams.
It's true. That's just so weird.
They sell it at 7-Eleven too.
I kind of want one,
I have one.
You do? Did you build it?
No, it's a fixed figure. So it's not a different color. So
but you can't. It's not a buildable Gundam. No. Okay, I thought it was.
It's got like 7-Eleven on the shield and everything.
But I thought it was like a kit that you build and then
there are.
Oh, of 7-Eleven.
And he comes with like a street sign that says 7-Eleven. It's crazy. It's amazing. Japan is so fun.
I'm actually curious to see though what the sales figures will be like, because obviously we have a very strong Smash community here.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them just lurking. You didn't even know.
No. When we went to the events, there's a lot more people
than I imagine. 2 tournaments. They were full.
2 tournaments, and I got a ton of street passes for all of them.
30 plus.
Right. I think that was the most popular tournament as far as fighting games goes. I'm not sure.
Either that or Tekken, because Tekken finished
Tekken was. Yeah, Tekken finished late, also because that was up on the stage because they.
No, that was different.
Was that different?
The stage was an exhibition. The tournament was still going on in the corner. But then Tekken is the biggest fighting game in this country.
No, that's true. But over Injustice, over Marvel, over
even over Street Fighter.
Over Street Fighter, it was.
There's a surprising amount of Smash fans here,
which is great. But
they're all popping up.
That's cool. You're probably right. I think Yoshi would probably be the least wanted.
I know there's a few people who like Yoshi, but I just hate that dinosaur. Him and Diddy Kong, man. But I'm probably going to get the figures, just because they look so good.
They do look good.
They look so good.
They look good. They would look good on the shelf,
their packaging has a different card.
What do you mean?
This cardboard piece.
Yeah.
It has a different print per character. It shows the character.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's different per thing.
Yeah, so
but
Mario has
for me, I don't know. I don't like.
Oh, sure. It's
toys
just the toy collector in me is just going. I need to have them all now. This isn't enough.
It's a dark path you might fall when the Pokemon are released,
once you fall in the rabbit hole,
yeah, that's true.
You can never climb back up.
So Nintendo, heed our words. The Pokemon is a big
rabbit hole. If it'll help Nintendo survive, sure.
I really know, but I like how they're. It's sort of going into what they want, where it's almost a toy now.
I'm surprised. They're probably surprised at how well it's working. Then
I'm not that surprised. I mean, it had such a good reaction at E3, but that's why I was saying. I'm very curious to see how will it sell well in Japan, and will it sell well in the US. I'm pretty sure it will sell well in the US.
So,
but Japan, the thing is, for Japan, I don't even know how well Skylanders or
Disney Infinite. No, because in Japan the game isn't even out yet on Wii U.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's a weird thing where America got it first.
Okay, that's all.
So these figures might not be out in Japan yet. Who knows? If you're on the hunt for Amiibos.
Yeah, so what's your Amiibo hunting?
You should call your local branch first before you go.
And Data Blitz are the only ones who've got them right now.
Yeah, right? So far Data Blitz is the only one. And we're lucky enough to have 3 Data Blitzes here.
Yeah, within our proximity. At least where we live.
We got Mega Mall, Shang, Podium.
Podium, right. So if one doesn't have it... And check the branches that don't get a lot of traffic. Podium, I know, gets barely any traffic.
Yeah, and even Shang, not compared to Mega Mall.
Oh, Mega Mall is just
Mega Mall is full of... Mega Mall even got them late.
Really?
Yeah, because I think they had the figures, but their system goes down every weekend. I heard from Ate Flor. Hello. Is that the pizza?
That's the pizza, yo.
Oh, yo, we're gonna be back. Coming back. We're gonna talk about Amiibos and pizzas.
So, how fragile are these figures, anyways? Like,
I think they're PVC, so they're soft PVC.
They're pretty. That's still pretty solid. I mean,
yeah, and they do have these thick ass stands to support them.
Yeah, and the plastic looks fine to me. So
as long as you don't like fucking punch them off the thing. I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering because I know kids are going to be buying these things. Like how?
That's why. That's why like Link has that dumb orange stand.
But that stand's probably going to be the first thing to break. You know.
That's why Marth's sword is bent in package because it's soft PVC.
No, but again, what I'm wondering is like kids are going to be buying these figures, and they're going to, they're not going to be, they're going to be rougher with these things. They're going to just throw them in their backpacks. And
dude, wait till they sell Amiibo cases.
That's going to happen for sure, man. Amiibo cases.
It's just going to be a regular generic bag with just the print Amiibo on it, then you're going to go nuts. It's going to be.
It's like those. Have you seen those like fantasy? Those like Warhammer fantasy armies.
Oh yeah.
And, they sell cases for that shit. Where it's like it's like a box. It's like a toolbox.
Yeah.
With styrofoam inserts that mold around your
and
guys.
It's like double the price of a regular toolbox. Just because.
But I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
They fucking have Beyblade cases.
Really?
Yeah, it's like there's a foam one, there's a bag, there's a toolbox set.
For Beyblades?
And they're not even all that different. It just has the Beyblade print on them.
Actually, that's still one thing I don't really get. Beyblades, like, but I don't want to get into that. That's a different.
You want to go Beyblade cast?
That's different. Is there a Beyblade cast?
There's probably one out there.
With like
the plastic gen versus the metal gen.
With adults like discussing it. Like,
oh man!
Like, is there science behind the spins?
Dude, I went to like a Beyblade tournament when I was a kid, and there were like 20-year-old guys there.
Yeah, but and they have those little arenas, right?
It's fun, man. It's amazing. It's stupid.
I'm sure it's dumb fun.
It's better than Tamiya, where you have to fucking charge your batteries.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I can't imagine like there being such a different outcome from using one thing over another thing on a Beyblade. Like,
it's physics, but it's random.
If I bought a Beyblade off the shelf and entered the tournament, I think I would have just as
There's
good
no
a
skill.
I think I would have as good chance to win as a guy who has spent a ton of money customizing his thing. You know.
There was a talk at IGDA about like randomness in video games.
Oh right,
and how it can be used well, and how.
Oh, that's the other thing. Before we get into that, like, Miggy had the.
Are we back?
Yeah, we are back. We are back. We are back. We've been back.
We've been talking about like
Beyblades and shit.
Welcome to the Beyblade cast. Episode 60.
So we were actually invited to join the IGDA Philippines.
1 year game challenge.
There you go. 1 year game challenge, which was last Saturday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
29th.
So unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, and Carlos obviously is not around, so maybe went solo.
Yeah.
And how was it? You had a good time though.
I was only there for like half the day though, because I had to go. They started a bit late, so I didn't get to catch all the speakers.
Right.
But I was able to catch the first speaker there. Her name was Regina something. I forgot. She used to be, I think, the creative director at Anito Games.
I see. So Anito Games, is that still around? Like,
I don't think they are anymore.
Okay.
Either that or they rebranded.
Were you able to meet up with a couple of the guys we met at
seen Marnel Estrada.
Yeah.
I think he's the chairman of the IGDA group.
Okay, cool.
So he helped put that up. Then I got to meet Carlo, the event organizer.
Nice.
And there was a bunch of students in there who make their games, and some other startup developers around. And they had this thing where each group participating in the 1 year game challenge, where, by the way, is what they do is they give up 5,000 pesos to IGDA, and then they have to finish and release a game
in a year.
I think it goes up to the month after the event.
Right.
So like the event starts November. They have until like maybe the same date in December.
So this event was basically to present the games from last year. And to start the new games for next year.
No, they're pitching the game that they're working on. Like they get 5 minutes each, they can either they can do anything. They can present the concept, talk about their plans,
Right.
show gameplay.
So people are all over the place as far as how far along they are. Like I'm sure some people.
Yeah, some of them already started.
Right.
Like this is just an extra push.
Right.
Because you're giving up the 5,000 pesos, and if you fail to finish the game
Right.
within the year, the 5,000 pesos gets donated to the IGDA for events and whatnot.
Right.
Because this gathering had a sponsor, but Smart.
Oh, Smart. Okay.
Smart and GameX, I think. So
Okay, cool.
Like SGS, and they were there, and it was held in the Smart Tower in Makati. Then
I see.
so that was the thing. It was like their grandest meetup so far, though, in terms of venues.
So they've been doing this a while
Since 2011, I think.
Okay.
2011, 2012. It's been a while, and that's the rule. And there were some interesting games out there.
Mostly mobile, I'm guessing.
Yeah, mostly mobile, and I think there was one PC.
Right.
One or two. But before I go into that, I got to reach one of the presentations of one of the speakers there who talked about design.
Right.
And she used to be, I think, a creative director at Anito, and she teach game design in Asia Pacific.
Oh, UAE.
APC.
Okay.
Asia Pacific College. And she talked about randomness in games.
Okay.
Like how it can affect the level of the playing field. Or how it can be used to cater to a different set of audiences.
Right.
Like that. And she compared it her analogies was like chess. Or if you're really good, a casual player will not beat you no matter what.
Right.
And if you add a random element like dice rolls.
Right.
Or have you heard about dice chess?
No, I've never heard of dice chess. What
Where
is dice chess?
you roll a set of dice, or I'm not sure if it's one or two.
Okay.
And each face has a different piece on it.
I see.
And
So
you roll the piece that you can move.
so let's say, so if I want to move my knight, I have to roll a knight.
Yeah, you have to
on
roll
the
a
dice.
knight. If
I
you roll
see.
like a bishop, you have to move a bishop.
I see. Okay. Okay.
And so yeah, that single element alone, can level the playing field between a pro and a scrub.
But eventually, a pro will have an easier time
No,
learning.
there's
that
still an
system,
element
right?
of strategy.
Yeah.
But then there's that luck element.
That's
diba?
true. No, that's
And
true.
that could be enough to screw you over and all that.
That's true. I mean, that you can see that a lot in. Well, again,
This is
going back
basically RNG talk.
to going back to Smash Brothers, the
items.
the items that drop are
Yeah,
completely
that's
random.
RNG. And if you turn that off, it's all about skill now.
No, it becomes all about skill. But I like playing with items because it does add an element of
Yeah,
of learning
me,
to
I like
deal
playing,
with it.
I like playing both ways, but I get the appeal of each.
Right. Like
And
if someone
you can
gets
still bring skill in an items on match. You
For
can,
sure,
you can get
absolutely.
good with items. Diba?
for sure, but even it's even avoiding certain things. Like
Yeah, you can.
someone gets the hammer, okay,
Or you throw a Pokeball to kill someone
There's
instead of killing them with the Pokemon.
or stuff like that. But okay, I get it. That's pretty cool. So she didn't use Beyblades as an example.
No. But she used a Minesweeper, where the random element in that is the board
The layout,
changes every
yeah,
time.
right.
But then the skill happens, and the random part is your first click. Has that happened to you, or your first click is a mine? That happened to me.
Yeah, it's happened a lot of times.
And the numbers in Minesweeper indicate how many mines are within
The range,
the
right?
vicinity of that block, the number. But you don't know where.
We don't know where,
You have
exactly.
to estimate. If it hasn't been revealed,
Right.
you have to guess. But so that's also a random element.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
And
That's interesting.
how you apply different levels of randomness can greatly affect your approach to design and all that.
That's cool. So was this an event just for developers, or were there students there?
Oh, there were students I forgot what school, but I don't think it's a school that had a game development course.
Right.
But they were there making. I think it was a Japanese, not dating sim, but in that style, the graphic
Right.
novel style,
I see. Yeah.
where you're talking to a drawing of a character,
Of a
and
character.
moving to different areas and all that, dialogue trees and all.
That seems to be the most popular genre. One of the more popular genres I see. Actually,
In Japan, it's still popular.
No, but as far as game development schools here go, the first two things I hear everyone wants to make is either visual novel style games like that, like Danganronpa or Phoenix Wright, or RPG a la Final Fantasy, where they use RPG.
RPG makers, yeah.
Yeah, and those are the two I always see being made, and that's well and good. But I never feel that if you go that route, you're pushing the genres along because
it might be just good practice.
It is good practice for
it's
sure.
a lot of if and then statements. Like if this happens, then you do this.
Yeah, no, it's true. There's a lot to consider in those games, but just the observation of mine.
It's like event triggers, I guess.
Right.
Mostly.
So alongside the talks we had at this IGDA, there was also the 1 year game design challenge. So you had people presenting their games.
Yeah, and like as I said, the students had their little graphic novel.
And then so how does that work? Like, so they present the games, and then there's a panel that decides, okay, we like these games. Or?
They just present it to they just give their general idea because it's a gathering of game developers.
Okay,
like,
so
you might get inspiration from someone else, or if you need assistance, you can talk. Hey, they're making a similar game, but like it's super casual. Like they all seem to know each other. They're all super friendly.
That's cool,
and they welcome anyone new who comes in.
That's awesome. So it seems like we were fortunate enough to make friends with some of these guys, and so this might be but this is a once a year thing. This specific.
They have like IGDA gatherings like once a month.
Okay, cool.
Just because if you take part in the 1 year game challenges, you also have to like give a monthly report on progress.
I see.
Like a progress report, more or less. And they also have, aside from the IGDA, there's also like these other guys have their own gatherings for like the business side of game development, and that's completely different. So like the IGDA is like a more friendly
for developing.
Yeah, it's just like
and then there's
developers. No,
okay,
no
guys,
business.
let's talk about money.
Yeah, like
that's always the difficult part.
It's just good business. So yeah, I saw some weird shit.
That's the understatement because the game you showed me was, whoa! I kind of want to play it, and at the same time, I don't.
When you think about like the do's and don'ts in media, what are one of the don'ts that you usually talk about? There's politics, of course. There's politics,
and there's don't like there's racism.
There's racism.
There's religious sensitivity.
There's sexism, and then there's religion.
Right, so this game sort of took the religion. Well, okay.
No, there's been Bible games before.
There have been Bible games,
and none of them have
crap on everything, right? But this one is just I don't know.
We haven't seen one in a while.
Will we be uploading this video, like the video of this game, this specific game, to the channel, or
we can link it because it's their video. They uploaded it themselves.
Yes, we'll link it for you guys.
So yeah,
but here's a brief description, and I couldn't believe what Biggie was telling me when he. Try to describe it to me.
Before we get into the game, here's the title of the game.
Yeah.
It's called God's Battle for Peace.
God's Battle for Peace.
And it's not like apostrophe S, right? You saw in the title.
It's peace. Like
no, it's not. It's GODS.
GODS.
It's not God's.
God's.
It's not like a personalized what sentence structure. And I swear, his title in the gameplay video was different from what he showed. Because I remember seeing the apostrophe as being on battles.
Battles?
Battles.
Oh my God.
God's Battle for Peace.
So
I forgot this guy's name. And we're not like, I'm sure he's a nice guy. We're just talking about like the premise of his game. And he was saying that it's going to be a lot like Clash of Clans, though.
Mm.
He was comparing it to Clash of Clans a lot. And he said there's going to be like internet connectivity, and you're going to be able to add friends and all that from different religions. Because he's saying like different religions, but we all fight against the same like bad guy, which is he shows.
And that's not such a bad idea if you think about it, because we've had games where like, and you remember Black and White, where you kind of
you're God,
where you kind of God, and you could sort of
you could be a dick or
you could be a dick, right? No, and then there was other religions, other gods, right? So, and you either fought or you made peace with them, and so. That idea of differing religions coming together is not necessarily a bad
I don't know.
idea. But, wow, the execution, I mean...
No, before we get into that, like, because he was showing, he had a PowerPoint and he had, like, a few slides.
Yeah.
So I got to clearly see the sprite of the bad guy, which is just, like, some generic devil.
Yeah.
He's got, like, the facial hair and everything. He's got the suave
and the
hair gel
the
and all
pointy
that, the pointy ears, and he's just red.
Yeah.
It's basically just Satan.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, you have different religions fighting against Satan. Which, I don't know, I think he's just... Christian.
No, but that's what makes this so funny is that he went ahead and used religions.
There's a lot of like heavy Christian nonsense, but then it's supposed to be like.
Okay, but then why is Buddha in there?
I know, like does Buddha fight Satan?
That's the thing. I can understand.
We're not trying to be offensive. We just
not,
don't know.
Please, yeah, okay. Just to get out of here, we're not trying to be
Disclaimer.
Offensive. This is actually in the game. So
we live in a very Christian
we do.
country.
But
so
to describe the game first, it's a shoot 'em up.
No,
it's a vertical shoot 'em up.
That's the thing. The guy kept explaining that it was very Clash of Clans like.
Yeah.
He even mentioned that you know how Clash of Clans has like offline invading.
Yeah.
Like it's PvP, but it's not.
Yeah.
Because you just invade their base and not actually the player.
Right.
So he was mentioning a lot of stuff like that and like connectivity between other users, like even on or offline.
Right.
Like as long as you like log in and nonsense.
Right.
And he kept mentioning like Clash of Clans a lot. So I was expecting like, is this gonna be like even the IGDA guys were like, so it's gonna be like a
base building
tower defense like. And I don't know if the guy's English was off, but he said yes. Then he ran gameplay, which was a bit wonky because it messed up the sound system. It was popping off a lot, which I hope didn't damage my microphone. Then the gameplay played, and it's a top-down shmup
where you get to play.
Where you get to use like Jesus, Buddha,
Allah,
and some
or sorry, Muhammad. Sorry, not Allah.
Is that even a thing? Isn't Muhammad just a name?
No. You have to keep in mind.
I don't know.
To be respectful to Islam, Muhammad is their prophet.
Oh,
Allah
okay.
The
I don't
term
know.
they use for God.
So, all right, so you got Jesus, Muhammad, and Buddha. So far.
Because
he said he was going to add more characters. That's why we got...
So, what other characters can you add? I mean, like, you have the whole Hindu cast of gods. You have the whole Shinto cast of gods.
Wrath.
You have... Who are you going to get for Judaism? I mean, like, Moses, I guess?
Moses is red.
Huh?
He got superpowers.
I suppose Moses would be there, yeah.
But it's a shmup. Like, what the hell?
And that's the weird thing that I don't get. Like, okay, you're fighting the devil.
Well, yeah, the game is like super early, but it works. Like, there's only one enemy type, and they die in 1 hit.
Right. So
like,
what has the Clash of Clans stuff?
I don't understand at all. So, like,
is he playing a different Clash
of Clans? It's a top-down shooter where, like, let's say you're using Jesus, right?
Yeah.
He shoots rocket-propelled crosses at the enemies. Then you saw the power-ups,
like, which are what's like hope,
love, humility,
redemption.
And it's not even like a glowing piece. It's the word itself so far. That might change, pero like that's your power ups, and you like get like multiple shots as you get more power ups. Yeah.
But again, like maybe where's the Clash of Clans in all of this?
I don't even see how that will work. How do you get invaded like that?
I can sort of see it work. If you played if you
find another Jesus.
No,
it's about friendship.
There could be several levels of it where you could maybe he hasn't designed the base building aspect of it, but then when you actually go to invade the devil's territory, you have to play that shmup section,
or either that or like because he mentioned like you can get friends from other religions to fight against a single bad. Maybe they can add like they can work as power ups. Like get X number of friends to join, and you get like those options that float around and shoot, like a mini angel or something.
Wow, maybe what kind of statement is he making when you've got Jesus Christ and the Prophet Muhammad working together,
dude,
to kill the devil?
There's probably a movie about that somewhere already.
That's a statement where that the world needs to hear.
Why can't we be friends?
Yeah, heal the world, guys.
Heal the world.
Exactly. Okay, was that the only game you got to see though? Like,
no, that was one of the ones that stuck because there was a bunch of like, there's a guy who's going to merge all these Infinite Runner games into one, where because the joke is like you're a guy trapped in a world of infinite runners. And each level is a different Infinite Runner. So it's
you'll have Temple Run
Run-ish, then like the side-scrolling Temple Run,
the
rooftop run, then you get the jumper levels, then you get the Flappy Bird levels. And there was one where it's like, imagine Mario Galaxy as an Infinite Runner, where you're going around the planet that loops. Then the obstacles get different. But the unique part is you can go underneath the world, and it's a whole nother level.
Oh, wow, that's kind of cool.
That's probably the most interesting part of this Infinite Runner bits. But that's his thing. Like, it was super basic because his character was just a block, and the stage was just like a green line. but you could see the concept.
I'm actually very interested to hear because you mentioned there's two sides to this. There's the development and the business side.
This is all just development so far.
I'm actually more curious to know more about the business side because I think that's one thing that's
it's probably going to be more brutal.
No, but from what we've seen at ECGS, and from what you've seen, like the game concepts that are coming out are pretty good. Like they're interesting, they're different. But what seems to be lacking is in the business side because we don't see any of these games.
Nobody's pushing it here.
Getting a push, right? So for me, I'd be more interested to see what happens in that side of their meetings. Which I hope we get invited to, honestly.
Before I continue with the 1 year game challenge, one of the I think sponsors then was Idea Space. Have you heard about that?
No. Who are these guys?
I think what do you call this? They help startup companies.
Okay.
So parang you come to them with your like idea or parang in more real world terms business proposal.
So they're like venture capitalists, I guess.
Yeah, and they'll do all the market research and if it's feasible, they'll give you like 500,000 pesos for startup.
Okay, so they're kind of like a venture cap sort of thing.
And they can offer you like office space and all that.
Nice.
And
then they'll obviously they'll get a percentage back at some point.
Like, parang, I think they're gonna maybe partner with your business or something like that.
Right.
And they helped put up one of the mobile game companies in this country that was also there, Bluefin or something like that. I forgot what it's called. I didn't get to reach them. They also have this thing where if you sign up with them, I think from September of this year up to December of this year, they'll have like a contest then, where if you're one of the top 3, like best business proposals or something like that, they'll give you an extra 500,000 pesos.
Oh wow! Okay.
Like, sayo na yun. Like you don't have like the first one you have to try to pay it back
at some point,
but like the next one is just sayo for now.
So, but obviously these guys are dealing with more than just games.
Oh yeah.
They're getting like boutiques and
they just mentioned it because I think that was their first mobile game company that they put up.
They put up, and
apparently it's doing well. So that's something.
Well, that's pretty cool to hear. I'm happy to hear IGDA guys are doing well.
There's one game I want to mention though. That was before that there was a bunch of dudes who had this Unity game.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be like a first person. It's not horror.
Right.
It's not like survival horror. It's horror, but it's first person puzzle solving.
Oh, like the Seventh Guest in that sense. Like
I don't know. Imagine like where you have to pick up and then match items and use them on different things. Point and click, but
it's
in first person.
Point and click horror game, basically.
Yeah, but in first person view.
Oh, like Shadowgate. Is that maybe the right?
I don't know. There's no combat though.
I see.
But it's funny, lang, because their game crashed the night before.
Oh, I see.
So they had to put up like a quick demo from 2 a.m. up to that point.
And they must have been dead on their feet.
They also switched because like Unity crashed and corrupted all their data because that's what it does though. If you don't save it and it crashes, it corrupts everything. And they had no backup, so they're switching to Unreal 3. Well, and what was funny is like they were able to mold in like a forest in the front of the mansion.
Yeah.
And like trigger an event where you go to the mansion and then the game ends. It says like, yeah, you win. So that's already like a demo of an event triggering. But like they had like this Quake space gun that can shoot. And, like, it was obviously from a different game because it had like full set of textures and animation.
Yeah, right.
And you could shoot the demo. I just found that funny.
Actually, remember, I think if any game is going to get international attention from the local, it would be a horror game.
We saw a lot of those at ESG.
We did, and I mean, we saw like look at how Dreadout is doing. That's an Indonesian.
Look at how big PewDiePie is because of those.
PewDiePie who plays all the weird like little.
There's this new thing where it's indies versus PewDiePies, and like they're pooling together a lot of indie games, and like the top picks will be played by PewDiePie on this channel.
Oh,
so that will help with their viewership for sure, and like some guys from the IGDA are joining that. So luck to them.
Well, that's them, even though we don't really like PewDiePie, but whatever.
Yeah, you can't like. He brings numbers. Right?
He does.
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I'm sure he's a pretty cool guy. All right.
Oh, the one game that looked really cool there was the title that he posed was One Shot Kill, but it's actually supposed to be 1/kill.
Oh, okay.
He just messed it up though. And it's essentially, I don't know what game to compare it to, but you're like a blind samurai.
All right.
And the way, like, you imagine a grid board.
Okay.
And then you have a sonar button.
Okay.
You press it once, and it reveals all the enemies on the screen before it blacks out again.
And then you have to kill all of them.
Yeah, you have to kill all of them in one strike, essentially. You have to remember where they are, of course.
Yeah.
Then you have to, I think, pass them like beside.
Are they moving? Like
no, they're stationary.
Oh, I see.
The thing is, you have like samurai moves or whatnot.
Oh, okay.
And they're mapped together like Tetris blocks, more or less.
All right.
Like that. And you have to like match them in a way on the board that you pass through all
the enemies.
So like the guy, I forgot his name then. He looked more legit because I think he has a company now. He had a suit and everything. His goal was he wants you to be able to play this with one hand. Like imagine you're on the MRT.
Yeah.
You're holding onto the rail, fighting for your life. You're bored. You can play it with your phone in one hand, with your thumb about. So that's his primary like goal. And you can just drag and drop your moves, and I guess it changes per level to match the board.
Right.
And you have your sonar button, which I'm not sure how many times you can use it, and essentially the play button,
which will play through the animation.
Yeah. Once you set them all up and you hit play, it'll go like, you know how Samurai Jack has these zoom ins?
Yeah.
And it's like slash, 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 whoosh. And you can see your guy dashing through the pattern you laid out.
That's cool.
And if you kill all of them in one go, you win the level. If you miss one, you're dead.
You're dead. That's cool. I like that idea. That sounds like something I would play.
He had some concept art which is really solid now, and he said that this is basically going to be how it looks. And he just needs to color it up and like that. And he took inspiration from like multiple big name games, but in terms of main premise, none of them are like that.
Right.
Like he took like art design from this game, like a story from this game or something like that, and like he fused it together and made it like an ancient samurai guy.
That's cool. The way I picture it in my head is like one of those. Have you seen those 2D stick animation, figure animation? I imagine it like that. Like you'd click, you'd see your guy, and then a blank area. You'd click it, and you'd see
him just do everything.
Yeah, then you click play, and he'd do the full animation. So your reward is that awesome.
Yeah, the
kill streak animation.
He said that they're going to make it as cool as possible.
Yeah, there you go.
You need to have it be like the most rewarding experience.
Exactly.
So yeah, that sounds interesting because I like a good puzzle game. There.
Okay, so moving on. Actually, one thing that came out this week, and that has pretty much taken over my Facebook feed, has been the new teaser for Star Wars Episode 7. Have you seen it?
Yeah, The Force Awakens.
The Force. What did you think? Like.
Dude, that lightsaber looks dumb.
That's the same comment I've heard from everyone who's seen it. Is that
I've been hearing the opposite. They're saying like, "Ooh, the cross, whatever lightsaber."
That is a very questionable crossguard because
that doesn't look like the crossguard. It just looks like some Jolon's design.
I mean, what were they really so desperate for? Anyways, that seems to be the only point that people were kind of ill about.
Everything else looks
Everything
great,
else
dude.
looks fantastic.
That droid that was on a soccer ball. Dude, I love that.
That was weird. I like the low flying X wings.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
I like the new Millennium Falcon look. Everything looked great.
Even that chick on that giant Magnum bar.
It looked like a Magnum bar, like a big ice cream bar.
That looked neat. Who was that black Star Trooper?
And the black Stormtrooper kid. I don't know.
Is he a rebel
no, but that's,
in disguise?
That's hilarious, though, because, like...
They're clones, though.
No, but the thing is, like... You're black? How would you know? You wouldn't know.
No, I assume, like, he's a rebel in disguise. But apparently he's a key character now.
I don't know, because is there still a rebellion to speak of? Like... This is because you have to remember this is an entirely new lore
after Episode 6.
Yeah, but they pretty much said everything.
Every expanded universe has been scrapped
except for the Old Republic and the films. So we don't actually know. Cartoons. We don't actually the new cartoons. So we actually don't know what any of this entails, like in the future. So wait and see. I hope they have a good explanation for that stupid.
I hope he does cool shit with that. Those little dots on the side. Because if he doesn't, that's fucking useless.
Exactly. That'd rather be something awesome that comes
Everyone
out
else is... my feed has been filled up with saying, hey, that's a cool looking lightsaber, blah, 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 cross guard, bullshit. And I'm like, that looks dumb.
Because
functionally...
Functionally, there's no need. Because functionally, I guess,
Guards are supposed to guard your hands.
Yeah, but you're a Jedi, so you're fighting lightsabers, which basically cut through anything anyways, right? So.
Oh, they're saying that you can use the Force to not get your hand burned.
Oh, well,
but still, like, what's the function of those? I heard an argument saying that it's like a rundown lightsaber, so like the energy's protruding out from the side.
Well, that's another theory.
But then it's not like fluctuating; it's a solid piece.
Gosh, who knows?
No, like if it's like if it has like a function, I wish they went with a more outlandish design. Because it's been so long. It's been so long since the last Star Wars movie. It's been even longer since Episode 6 came out. Diba? You got anime games that have better looking swords than that.
No, that's true, but they've been always trying to do something new with lightsabers. Like Episode 1 had like Darth Maul's dual one. Then
fucking Force Unleashed had Tonfas.
Force Unleashed, yeah. Then it had the Tonfa style. Then I've seen like whips, like in the comics.
I've seen that.
I think it was in the comics or in something.
I think it was in the comics. Yeah. One of those.
So you've got a bunch of lightsaber-esque weapons floating around.
Like even that image of the crossguard saber that came out.
Yeah,
it looks different. I don't know. That looks like a better lightsaber than whatever this guy had. An inverted cross lightsaber.
Well, it goes. Well, a little bit in celebration of the release of the new trailer. I'm sure everyone's excited as hell to watch.
I'm excited. That trailer's a lot better than I expected.
We thought we'd discuss a little bit about Star Wars games overall, and there's a long history of them to go through.
Remember that Star Wars game I mentioned maybe 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I'm still doing that LP.
We've got some from the good. I mean, we range from the good to like the really terrible. Excuse me, the really terrible. But I think it really all started with the first Star Wars games I remember is like the old Atari ones where you're kind of flying in the X-wing and you're doing the Death Star run. This is like ancient history by now, but one of the first arcade games I recall which had vector graphics, which are basically just line graphics.
Yeah, lines and blocks.
Was the X-wing simulator where you would fly against the Death Star and you were shooting TIE fighters around. That for me, I think, was the first officially licensed Star Wars game, and I think that's sort of the pedigree most like that. It's sad to say that pedigree of Star Wars spaceflight simulators has pretty much gone and died, unfortunately. Because it had a very good.
Because it's the easiest one to
create. It is.
Create.
Space combat is
and it's present in every movie.
It is, but sadly, like for a lot of games nowadays, it's not there at all. Space combat, in the early '90s or the mid '90s, they had X-wing TIE Fighter, X-wing versus TIE Fighter, X-wing Alliance,
and you had the Rogue games,
the Rogue Squadron games. They had the Rebel Assault games. All of that were all space fighters, and those were fantastic Star Wars games. Really good.
But TIE Fighters just came back.
And that's true. TIE Fighter and X-Wing have been re-released with a special edition on Good Old Games.
We can finally play it on modern PCs.
You can play them on... They still don't have multiplayer, though.
That's fine. It's, as long as I can play it again.
But go ahead and pick those up if you can, because those are really good Star Wars games. If you don't really care too much about the whole Jedi... That seems to be what the focus is now, I think, on a lot of games is on Jedi.
Of course, that's the coolest part before. Like the lightsaber fighting.
Lightsaber fighting, yeah.
But then you never had a solid lightsaber game before. I remember on the N64, I was always like, Star Wars game, I get to play a Jedi, but no, you play as a guy with a gun.
Yeah, the Dark Forces, right?
Yeah.
Dark Forces 1.
Kyle Katarn.
His
first game was
first game was a first-person shooter.
Before Jedi Outcast.
Then Jedi Outcast came when he had guns and the lightsaber,
which was really good,
which worked well. I think the Star Wars games have run the gamut of genres. We've seen side scrollers, we've seen space simulators,
RPGs,
MMOs. We've seen RPGs, with the Old Republic stuff.
It was Mass Effect before Mass Effect,
exactly.
Made by the Mass Effect guys.
We've seen casual games. I know we've seen
arcade games like Jedi Power Battles.
Yeah, and
it's amazing.
Come on, they have a dancing game.
Oh yeah,
you can't forget that.
Which is you have Han Solo dancing to Solo.
Exactly. Star Wars. So, I don't know what happened at some point. They just I don't know that we'll talk about that game particularly later because I really want to discuss what the thought process was going into that. But I guess the thing is, I feel that the Jedi aspect of it has taken over pretty much everything else now. Like your main character is always a Jedi.
Yeah, I heard
Or
that was
something
like
that.
one of the most disappointing bits of Old Republic now. Is you can become a Jedi really easily.
Jedi is a character class in the Old Republic, so like why would you want to play anything else at that point?
But then you see everyone's a Jedi, so you're not
Exactly.
special
So
anymore.
it's not special anymore. That's what my point was. And for me, I always like playing the kind of like the underdog character, which is why I really like the Space Sims because you're just a pilot. You're not some Jedi guy. You're just a pilot. And I think in the Old Republic game, I even chose not to be a Jedi class. I picked Imperial something. I don't remember what anymore, but I'm talking about the MMO, right, by the way, not the RPGs, because the RPGs
It's Knights of the Old Republic.
you're a Jedi regardless. I guess I'm wondering now, like the question to ask is like, where do you see Star Wars games going moving forward? Obviously, we're going to see the movie adaptation. That seems to be the standard. Like, there's always a movie adaptation of the game. Like, I remember when episodes 1, 2, and 3 came out, they had a whole ton of Star Wars games based around it. They had the pod racing, and they had the actual game adaptation of the films.
And they had like expanded games based off like the Clone Wars series.
Based off specific things in this, like the one where you play a clone trooper. You remember that one? I forgot what that was.
Rebel.
Called.
Is it the Squadron, whatever?
Yeah, something.
Rebel Squadron. Something.
Republic
Commandos.
Republic Commando.
Commandos.
There. See,
That's a good one. That was a good one.
So I'm like, where do you think? Where do you feel the next Star Wars games will go? Do you think? Because I'm worried it'll end up being just entirely Jedi. We don't know the plot of the movie, so it's hard to say at this point.
No.
But I hope that it's not entirely Jedi focused, like because I wouldn't want a game that you play just Jedi again. Because I'm so sick and tired of it. Like I'd rather explore the other aspects of Star Wars, the Star Wars universe.
No, but at least in the second trilogy, episodes 1 to 3, there was an abundance of Jedis. That's why you could have the excuse that you're always a Jedi,
right.
Or you're playing the main characters from the Clone Wars series,
right?
Which is super popular with the kids.
Well, I
nowadays.
suppose, and then you could make the argument that the earlier Star Wars games
where
worked,
Jedis were very sparse.
but they worked within the expanded universe where Jedi were kind of making a comeback, which is why like Kyle Katarn ended up becoming a Jedi, I guess, at some point.
Yeah, but there was like a few of you, except maybe until Jedi Academy.
Yeah.
But those aren't canon now. So.
Yeah, exactly. We have to throw all that away, unfortunately.
And I think there's also like a downscaling in the Jedi things because after the Clone Wars cartoon, the CGI one, which I think ran for 5 or 6 years, but it's like 6 seasons.
I don't remember how long.
Their new show is called Star Wars Rebels.
Rebels, right?
Which like there doesn't seem to be a Jedi except for one Sith. So I think maybe they're trying to popularize like the everyman or.
But that's
soldier.
why I was so sad when like the Star Wars was 1313 got canned.
Oh yeah.
Because there you were playing a bounty hunter, I think, or something like that. You were like Han Solo.
Or Boba Fett.
Or Boba Fett. Didn't Boba Fett even get his own game at some point? I don't remember.
I don't know. I heard he's still alive in this next one.
I'm pretty.
He got out of that Sarlacc pit.
Well, he did in the expanded universe as well. He was too popular.
And now it's
canon
again.
Well, that's why. I'm pretty sure if they can find a way to bring back the popular characters, they will. I mean, apart from Darth Vader, obviously.
He's dead.
Because his
Spoiler alert.
story is done, right?
Yep.
But characters like Boba Fett and some maybe other returning characters.
Skywalkers are back.
Skywalkers will be, of course, Luke will be. You saw the picture of them like rehearsing with Harrison Ford and
Chewie.
And the guy who played Chewie,
He's the only one looking at the screen.
And the droids are there also.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, the droids have been pretty much the only constant actually throughout the movie so far.
They're old now.
And I think the guy who plays C-3PO is actually very proud of that fact. Like he has been the pretty much longest running.
Yeah, but I think he hates Star Wars though.
From what I've heard, it's because he considers himself a very high English actor, right? And then
he's always Star Wars.
But it's his most famous role, and I guess he feels he's the only one that can do that role justice.
Oh yeah, of course, sure,
right?
For sure.
So, but getting back to
well, in terms of games, Battlefront 3
is still coming
out, and that's where you just play like the ground troops, like either droids, clones, rebels, and you get to either be ground or get in the ship and do an air battle. And I think they introduced it in Battlefront 2, where the Jedis are hero characters, which is like a kill streak.
Yeah, but I want to bring up like Star Wars Galaxies, which was the first Star Wars MMO. And it was actually people talk a lot about it where they're very fond of the game up to a point. Before what they call the new game experience, before that was introduced, it was very, very, very difficult to become a Jedi.
I heard about
You had to pretty much do a bunch of stuff, and then you'd open up a new character slot, which you could create a Jedi character in. And that was like a long, epic quest line which you had to complete. So not a lot of people had it. Then Sony, I think at some point, introduced something called a new game experience because it was supposed to help bring new players into the game, right?
Oh, yes.
It wasn't... because before it was pretty much a giant sandbox. Like, you had weird
different
professions.
planets.
But you had weird professions. You had like dancing as a profession, things like that. So it wasn't your standard.
It's not like here's your own story. It's like you're just living in the world.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's not. Yeah, it was a instant rather than a theme park. Well, the difference is like
the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah, you have the theme park style MMOs like World of Warcraft, and then you have the sandbox style, which is basically here's a world.
You're just a dude inside this world.
Right. And then, so I guess that NGE tried to bring it closer to a theme park, and that suddenly made Jedi very easy to become. So suddenly you had Jedi running all over the place, and that wasn't properly play-tested, so the balance of the game just got totally messed up. But along with a bunch of other changes, like completely ruined the game, and eventually it died, and that's how Star Wars Galaxy died. Or at least how most players consider the game to have the beginning of the end for that game. So that's what I feel also. It's like you have to be very careful when you're using Jedi in this Star Wars universe because they're so powerful, they're so iconic, and yet the point is they're rare. So it doesn't imbalance the overall universe when you have one or two there, but when you have hundreds of players running around lightsaber dueling in the streets, it just feels silly, It doesn't feel Star Warsy enough for me. Star Wars for me
it's too much.
Yeah, Star Wars for me is because the Jedi aspect of it is the least science fiction part of the Star Wars universe altogether.
Yeah, it's the most fantasy.
It's the most fantasy of that all. The sci-fi for me is where what I really like is like
the guns and the spaceships,
the spaceships, the different aliens, exactly. Like the different planets, that's for me what the droids. That for me is what really compromises the Star Wars universe. I think even if you were to remove Jedi and the Force completely off that, you'd still have a fantastic universe to play around with.
Yeah.
It just so happens that
there are Jedi.
There are Jedi, and that
you gotta fear them or something. That's why I think if you're gonna go the approach of of course the lightsaber is the most popular bit. And that's what attracts a lot of new audiences. Like even me when I was a dumb child, lightsaber battles are the best. Laser guns suck. But as I grew older and started appreciating it more, I was more like, hey, the Jedis are kind of overpowered and tend to be a bit boring. So I found the sci-fi part more interesting.
Exactly.
And I think they should just separate those.
The sci-fi
have a game for just the Jedi part.
And then
have another game for
space
all
battles,
the other
all
space
the other
nonsense. Stuff. Yeah, which I think is going to be fulfilled by Battlefront 3, because that will recreate all the fights.
Is it really?
All the war. That's what they've been doing.
Okay.
It recreates all the war scenes.
Do you think we'll see a research? Do you think we might have another space simulator?
Did you hear about that Wii compilation of all the Rogue Squadron games?
There was a Wii compilation.
Yeah, it would have the first to third games, but updated. Like,
Oh,
it would
wow.
have all the missions, and because the third Rogue game had parts where you were Luke Skywalker running around third person,
Oh,
and
okay.
it was kind of broken, and janky.
Right.
So they fixed all of that, like improved gameplay
They
mechanics
removed,
and everything.
they removed the Luke Skywalker bit.
No, they kept it there, but they made it functional.
Oh,
and
okay.
fun.
That's cool.
And then they added a bunch of junk to the flying bits, made it a lot better.
Yeah.
Improved graphics on everything. Like, imagine like the Halo collection
Remastered.
done from the ground up.
Okay. That
So
sounds
it was
awesome.
a lot better, and then it got canned. And
the reason
there's like solid gameplay of it now, and there was parts where they were using motion controls for like lightsaber deflecting,
Right.
and it seemed to work really well.
Right.
Like it looks to be more better than the Kinect game.
But see, what happened there? Like
I don't know. Like I'm
if
so sad that
the Kinect game was like
garbage.
it was. Oh well,
No, the dancing part is solid, but the
Actually,
Kinect
yeah.
function of the main game was
terrible. And
Yeah.
and the thing was, that was like the biggest hope of everyone. Was like, yeah, we can finally have a
Finally.
real lightsaber battle.
how could you mess that up?
But they messed that up, and instead they put a dancing game in there, which was the best part of it.
Which was the mini game of the thing.
I
It was
kind
the
of
best
would-
part.
It was only good because it had like Darth Vader and the Emperor and Princess Leia and everyone else dancing to Pop song. dancing to pop songs. And I guess that was the end of LucasArts, right? That is LucasArts' legacy. The last game they ever put out
Wow.
was the Kinect Star Wars.
I guess it sold well, so that's something.
But I feel also that was a big problem for LucasArts is that at some point they just stopped making anything but Star Wars games.
Well, yeah, because they were making a bunch of point and click back in the day.
Yeah, and they were good games.
They were good at that.
Grim Fandango.
I think they were
Full
better at that
Throttle.
than Star Wars games.
And at some point, the money just said, "No, we gotta make more Star Wars stuff." And
You are called LucasArts.
yeah, but I feel that the fact that they weren't diversified in what they were doing kind of got them lazy. Like
No, it might have been then. They also had a lot of really garbage Star Wars games.
oh yeah, that's the thing.
There were so many bad LucasArts
But
games.
that's what I'm saying is that they put out so much Star Wars stuff
And
that
I think
they
they
got
were-
a little lazy in quality control.
I think there was, that then. I think they published a few games aside from making their own, and a lot of them were just like garbage.
No, yeah, I mean the best. I remember the best. Oh God, this is way back when Episode 1 first came out. The pod racing game for that,
Which we'll never see again.
but that was a good game.
That was a really good
The
game.
pod racing game was good.
That had like the arcade controls where you had the sticks.
Especially the arcade game, that was awesome because you had the stick
control
control.
sticks of Anakin
Of-
and his pod racer.
Yeah, but then you had like Naboo Starfighter, which was terrible, and there were a couple other Episode 1.
Oh yeah, there was a
games.
lot of really bad.
The-
episodes.
the-
The one
I
I'm playing
don't
right now is a really terrible game.
Wasn't there even a Star Wars fighting game at some point?
Um,
There wasn't there?
was, but it was made by another studio.
Yeah, but it's like
published by LucasArts.
LucasArts still okayed it.
Which was a shame because I forgot the name of the studio, but they made the Force Unleashed game for PS2 and Wii, which is a far superior game to the next gen. I mean, the 360 PS3 Force Unleashed.
Really? Why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
That's the one I talked about
because-
before. No, not the motion control. It's just a better God of War clone.
I see.
Like the Force moves were super exaggerated to the point that because you can max out your Force moves,
Yeah.
and if you max out the push, it can kill someone.
Yeah, they just fly off into nowhere.
No, not just that, but it would make like a bubble wave that explodes at the end. It just kills everyone. Then you can like force choke,
Yeah.
stab someone with a lightsaber. You can do like a burst. Then you can like super jump, air
Yeah.
dash, and then lightning. You can do all of that. All that crazy nonsense.
No, but the fighting game, it's kind of sad because there's potential there. If you remember Soul Calibur, when they had
Oh,
Darth
yeah.
Vader, Yoda, and the apprentice,
as a guest.
as mechanically they fought. They
No, they fought well. It's just that was a bad Soul Calibur game.
It
in
was.
general.
It wasn't.
It's not Star Wars' fault. It's just a bad Soul
But
Calibur game.
if anything, it goes to show that a fighting game could have worked.
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, that studio that made the Force Unleashed on PS2 and Wii, they made a fighting game on the Wii
Yeah.
based on the Clone Wars cartoon.
Oh, okay.
So your inputs are, you hold a button and then you can swing horizontally and vertically, and then there's combo attached for that, like vertical, horizontal, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or stab. But it just it was so janky and so boring to the point that it wasn't even fun. It's a shame. It's like that studio made a really good game before that. So I don't know what happened there.
Excuse me.
I don't know if there was another fighting game after that.
No, the closest thing was probably Jedi Academy, where it wasn't really.
Oh, it had like arena.
It had arena combat. Yeah, it just felt more like an MMO than.
Yeah, it felt more MMO than how weird the combat was in Jedi Outcast.
But I'm just, this is also the. Here's the other thing that you have to consider. This is going. We haven't since LucasArts closed down. I don't think we've seen a Star Wars game released since, have we?
Not sure. But they're like restructuring everything.
Right, but I don't actually can't think of a Star Wars game that was released since the Disney buyout. And for me, what I'm thinking is let's face it, LucasArts was not very. I don't think they took care of that license very well.
Nope.
Because they licensed it out to a lot like the fighting game guys. That flop. They had, come on, the dancing game and all that. And even EA, they had a good thing going with
KOTOR?
With KOTOR, and then EA basically said, "Yo, we're gonna beat WoW, and this, but we're going to need to use Star Wars to do it." And I feel parang sayang.
It had so much potential.
It did, but is it? I won't say it's EA's fault or BioWare's fault, but obviously there were business objectives in that game which got in the way of making
for sure.
Yeah. So because they were aiming for it to be a WoW killer, and that's why that justified spending as much as they did, and I think in that sense they just went way overboard with what needed to be done. But so now that Disney has the license, I'm hopeful that they're much more careful in who they entrust to developing games for the genre, and hopefully, I'm hoping that moving forward we'll see a different tone to the games. If that's the right word to say. I'm also in a way worried because it's Disney. They might also suddenly be it's all kid friendly Star Wars stuff, which is not a bad thing.
If you think about it, Star Wars is for kids.
It is. That's true, but it's got such a legion of adult fans at this point.
Yeah, can't deny that.
Right? There are people who grew up with it. So you can't ignore that market either.
That's why I think that they should separate the Jedi kid-friendly bits to the more adult, maybe like shootery essence of Star Wars game. I don't know.
Well, that was what they were supposed to do with 1313, right? Or is that the right number? I can't.
I think that was like the supposed real successor to Knights of the Old Republic. Because it was gonna have like a modern adult.
It looked like Uncharted in Star Wars, basically. Like, if you remember the gameplay footage of that. But that sort of aesthetic feel. This is
like
what I thought.
A darker tone.
Yeah, it looked more gritty instead of all this hopeful Sith. Because I find the whole light side, dark side is very.
It's been outplayed.
It's black and white. It's like there's no way to explore the gray areas of the Star Wars universe. Or maybe that's just something that.
It's a used trope.
Yeah, it's a very used trope.
Hey, Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts!
And that's Disney.
It's just coming out next month, by the way, guys.
Oh, there'll be lightsaber
this month.
Lightsaber keyblades in the next game. There has to be.
Yeah. Well, what kind of game are you hoping for to see? Or what kind of how would you hope the Star Wars franchise is moving forward?
I'm just really looking forward to Battlefront 3 because I played a lot of the first Battlefront.
Yeah.
I played a bit of Battlefront 2 and the expansion of Battlefront PSP.
Yeah.
And those were really good. I hadn't enjoyed Star Wars blasters as much as in Battlefront. It was great.
I'm also looking forward to Battlefront 3, but more than anything, I'm crossing my fingers that we'll see a new sort of space flight simulator game. Because
I feel like those
that genre actually seems to be picking up again now with Chris Roberts' Kickstarter project, which has garnered how many millions of dollars already?
I don't know
Star Citizen.
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
That has gotten so much money, and this is Chris Roberts, the guy who invented Wing Commander, which is basically the godfather of space flight simulators. So, if fingers crossed that the success of that will push people to make more of these flight simulators, and I think there's even a market now for. I wouldn't say hardcore flight sim. Well, yeah, hardcore flight simulator, X-wing flight sim.
I think there should be one of those because all the other Star Wars ship games were very arcadey.
Yeah.
I feel.
But have you seen those
maybe not full on hardcore
digital combat simulator games where you're flying Russian helicopters and stuff with a fully clickable cockpit?
Oh my god! Wow.
Have you seen those?
No, but I'm sure there's some out there. God, I've seen the sets you can buy for Sims. They're huge.
Yeah, the cockpits.
Yeah.
And then they have all the dials and stuff.
Expensive, dude.
Yeah. And some people go out of their way. They'll buy
get the whole thing.
They're like, okay, I'm going to buy the front half of an old airplane, put it in my garage,
and just
and put computer
be
screen.
a child again.
Yeah. But admit it, if you had the money to do that,
why not? Right?
Right? Why not? Why not buy the front half of an airplane?
Those sim games are big. They're 10 gigs.
They are. They're huge. They're
and it's all physics. The game was crap, but
no, the game. For the most part, the game looks okay
really simple,
when you're in the air. But when you get
near, it's really jagged.
Yeah, it's jagged.
And when you crash, it flops about like some bug.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, the following of those games actually
it's surprisingly huge.
It's to the point where there are people who enjoy playing air traffic control for those.
Oh yeah.
You'll log onto a server and then you can fly somewhere, and then someone will actually be your flight controller for that.
Oh wow, that's
it's pretty crazy.
Extreme. That's some heavy role play right there.
But can you imagine a Star Wars game where you have the fully clickable
that would
X-wing?
be great.
It would, right? And then you would have the Disney. You like money, right?
You got Gold Commander talking to your ear.
Yeah.
That would be so good.
That'd be awesome, right?
Red leader, what do I do?
Well, if you ever played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter or X-Wing Alliance...
Darth Vader on my ass.
If you ever played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter or X-Wing Alliance, that's sort of how it was. You had... The multiplayer battles were great because you had voice... You had full voice. You could... And then the simulator was a mix, I'd say, between arcadey to realistic. Because you had to manage your shields... not too complicated. It wasn't too complicated, but complicated enough that I wouldn't say it was just an arcade experience. And I'm trying to think of other space games which were more.
Yeah, so we want the spaceship games to come back.
We do
basically because I think it's been a long time.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think they. I think they will. We will have a movie tie-in. There's no way around that.
For sure.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to be terrible. But that seems to be.
Who knows? It might be good.
It might be good, but
who knows? Or at least halfway decent.
If we were to judge the Marvel movie tie-in games,
dude, if you were to judge that stupid Marvel iOS fighting game. Because remember, that was the first Marvel game to come out after the Disney license.
That's terrible. I haven't played it yet.
Is it out?
I don't know. I don't even know what
At least Disney Infinity is doing well.
It is, but Disney Infinity, it was
made before.
Yeah.
Now it's coming out during the license.
But I think that's being successful not so much for the game, but because the figures are cool. You know?
Yo, you can complete your Guardians of the Galaxy set there.
Yeah!
They have a fucking Baymax figure, dude.
Is there a Baymax for that?
Oh, cool. That's really cool.
What, Disney Infinity has Baymax?
Baymax Amiibo. I mean my Baymax.
But yeah, so I think
no, we'll just have to wait and see because imagine it's a new era of Star Wars games.
It is. It's really
a new hope.
It's seriously a new era. That's
the game's awakened. No, but really, it seems to work out that way because new licensing, new bosses, I guess.
Right.
A new publisher because LucasArts is dead.
And George Lucas is not involved anymore.
Thank God.
Right. That's.
He's not even directing the new movie.
No, which is fantastic because I think George Lucas is a great world builder.
He keeps ruining his
a,
old world.
He's a terrible storyteller.
You know that the only way I think to get the real, like, original Star Wars movies, like through the Betamax or something,
or VHS,
or like the Laserdisc version. Not
really?
even the VHS, because you already got the remastered version of VHS.
Oh, that's
which
true.
He started screwing it over.
And yeah, now if you buy a if you want the Blu-ray Star Wars, it's like the enhanced,
the
special,
super enhanced one,
right? With all
but, the I think they are re-releasing the old one in Blu-ray now.
I hope so.
So there's hope for that. See, like, it's a new era. Everyone has a fresh start. We're getting a new movie. You don't know what to expect.
Except, we know one thing to expect. Cross Hill. Lightsaber.
I can't wait for all, like, the Antichrist comments about that. Like, how Monster is Antichrist now.
Or the Keyblade version.
I saw that image first.
Yeah.
Like, not the full-on Kingdom Key look, but the one before that.
Yeah.
Where I thought, like, oh shit, is that it? Then I watched the trailer, it's the cross, and like, I'm disappointed. I just hope he does something really cool with those. He has to.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the.
You have to get fucking Ray Park back as your choreographer, guys.
The guy, he was the one who...
He played Darth Maul.
Darth Maul, right.
He choreographed the whole first movie. The fight scenes.
What if they bring back Darth Maul? That'd be cool.
They did. He has chicken legs now.
Well, we don't know, because that was in the old...
No, that's canon.
Is it?
It's in the Clone Wars cartoon.
Oh, okay.
It's canon. He has fucking robot chicken legs. He talks now.
He does. Oh God, I have to watch this show. I didn't know he had chicken legs.
Oh, but anyway, like, you talked about your first Star Wars.
Okay, but then they're gonna. Then that means that they're gonna have that chick with the tentacle head in there.
She's alive, but she's in hiding, so who knows? She might come back. Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't know what their races are. It's called tentacle head.
Yeah.
And then there's the cone head Jedi, but I think that guy died.
He died. He died for sure.
Well, my first Star Wars game was the
Vector spaceship shooter. No?
That was the arcade, yeah. But I remember the first one I played at home was the NES. Never released in the U.S. Star Wars.
Oh, I was about to say that the Japanese one.
Yeah,
where your lightsaber is like boom.
Yeah,
you stick it out in front of you. You're like a hunchback Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, I never got past the Sandcrawler stage ever.
The first stage, did you at least reach the boss?
Which was Darth Vader.
He becomes a giant like scorpion
when you kill him. I heard.
No, but like that game was really interesting because like we can't find the game because I think it's just called Star Wars in Japan.
Yeah. So
when you search like a Star Wars NES ROM, you always get US ones.
Right.
That game was really interesting because after that stage,
yeah,
because after you go into like the Jawa tank thing,
yeah,
where they jump parts and you fight a fake Darth Vader in it.
It turns to a scorpion.
Like that happens a lot. Like it's always a fake Darth Vader becomes a weird animal. After that, it becomes like that speeder he had, Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
The stupid car thing.
Yeah.
It becomes that.
Okay, so you're in the speeder stage.
Yeah, like it's a fast-moving side scroller where you have to jump over rocks or else you die. Once you reach the end, you go into like a hangar and you see the Millennium Falcon flying out of the thing.
Yeah. Okay, that's the movie.
Then it becomes those like turret shooters?
Yeah.
First-person turret shooters?
Unreal shooters.
It becomes that. You're controlling one of the turrets on the Millennium Falcon.
Okay, and then you're in the Death Star, I'm assuming.
No. Like you go through every. There's 99 stages in that game. You know how I know?
Oh, why?
Because remember we didn't have the NES here.
We had the Famicom.
We had the Famicom, which the zapper port was in the center of the front about.
Yeah.
Like you had your controller ports, then in between those.
Actually, the controller was hardwired into the system.
Then the zapper port was in the front,
right?
With like its metal teeth sticking out. And like what I remember vividly is you get a 1 peso coin, and like you jingle it in between those teeth. And then you go to the stage select screen.
That was always that was the cheat.
Then like you had stage 0,
That worked for that game?
Yes.
Oh wow!
You can never do that ever again now, unless you have a Famicom. So you go like to stage 00 to 99, which is essentially 100 stages. And it goes through so many different game styles. Like you had that side-scrolling stage where you jump and lightsaber. Which you had fucking power-ups, what?
You did. You had the
lightsaber that shoots out beams at some point.
I don't remember.
They were all in fucking Japanese.
I don't remember anymore, but I just remember that game was hard.
That game was super hard and super weird, but like all those mini games functioned really well.
Yeah.
Like even the turret sequence looked surprisingly modern.
Modern, yeah.
Like maybe early mode 7-ish even. Then it also became... It had those side-scrolling levels, like the Sonic-style speeder levels, the turret sequences, and it had a top-down ship mode.
A ship mode? A top-down shmup mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was crazy because the final stage... Because I never beat the game legit. This is too fucking hard. The 99 stages come on.
Final stage is the Death Star.
Yeah, it's the Death Star where it's your next wing, it's top-down, and you're within the walls. So the walls would, like, shift in shape, like they would become like little vents and vents. And if you hit one side of the wall, you blew up. Then like you can go forward to increase your speed, go down, and it's like stupid hard. And that stage is really long. But like that was a really good Star Wars game for the NES.
I don't know if it was that hard. It was frustrating. The games I liked were the Super Star Wars games on the Super Famicom.
Oh, those had the better graphics.
Yeah, much better graphics. Like the lightsaber actually looked like it did the damn in that one.
And like if you slice like a rock, it'll like make a lot of hit sparks.
Yeah, so it was cool. That was the point in time when I think I was sort of getting into Star Wars. I actually got into Star Wars because of the X-Wing games, to be honest.
I got into it because
I was like, wow, there's so many different kinds of spaceships and this interesting lore behind each one.
I remember like watching Star Wars when the remastered ones appeared in cinemas here.
Yeah, I do remember that. When I went and did I watch the remastered ones? In cinemas?
I watched all of them because my family was so into Star Wars.
I think I watched all of them as well, but I don't remember.
They came out on VHS after that.
Yeah.
That might be it. Like we had a gold set. It was like the VHS and all that.
But like, how many sets of Star Wars have been released on?
Oh yeah, and they're all different.
The VHS, the Laserdisc version, and then there was the DVD set.
And they're all different
and
because George Lucas keeps changing
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Remember when Jabba was a man instead of that fat blob?
But remember, in the original cut, he was already a fat blob. But like, apparently, for those who don't know,
in A New Hope, the first shot, he was a dude in a costume.
Yeah, the first. No. In the original uncut first showing in the cinemas, that scene was not included at all. So the first time people got to see Jabba the Hutt was in the third film, which was 6. But apparently, the original concept for Jabba the Hutt was just a fat dude.
Yeah, and then he had like alien bits on him.
And then by the third one, he became a fucking slug. Yeah.
Remember when Han Solo walked over his tail?
Yeah.
No. He motioned to him up and down.
That was
great.
That was weird. And then, sorry guys, Han did shoot first. Han shot first. Han's an asshole.
Oh, I remember this. You know on the original Xbox, Star Wars Obi-Wan?
Star Wars Obi-Wan.
Where your right stick was purely lightsaber controls. Like you would swing with, like how maybe similar to like Fight Night.
Right,
where the punches were on your right stick.
Yeah.
Instead of like tap being jab, you would you swing right and you drag it left and it would swipe left, and all that. And the game sucks though. But I remember, I think it was on EGM because I had like a bunch of EGM magazines before. It was a 2-page. What do you call those? Like it's just one big ad for a 2-page. Yeah, spread. It was like just a like that Star-ish wall, and on one side, you can see Obi-Wan walking, dragging his lightsaber across the wall like an asshole. It's just melting the side of the wall.
They really tried to make Obi-Wan a badass. And then, what time was this? Like early 2000s, I guess, right?
When episode 1 came out. I can't find that picture anywhere on the internet. But that was an amazing ad.
But man, I have to say I have missed quite a few Star Wars games because there were so many at some points.
Yeah, but you didn't miss a lot.
And I'm pretty sure most of them were mediocre. And that's what I mean. Like, because LucasArts was just doing Star Wars forever and ever.
Well, it was appealing to kids then. Like, there were so many Clone Wars games. And they were all dumb.
And they were all dumb, and now LucasArts is dead. So obviously they
were just living off Star Wars money.
That long-term strategy just wasn't working out for him, man.
Who knows? We don't know the business aspect. Maybe they were just saying, you need to publish this amount of Star Wars games this year. Like, what if it sucks? I don't care. Nobody will notice that. No 5-year-old will notice that.
Yeah, that's what I wish they had a little bit more freedom to explore.
I'm just so mad that Day of the Tentacle was almost complete, and then it got canned.
Well, Day of the Tentacle was... You mean the sequel?
The modern... No.
The modern...
full-on modern remake. It was 80% done.
Oh.
Then LucasArts died.
Damn.
Somebody please buy that if you can.
And buy Full Throttle, buy Monkey Island, buy...
No, Monkey Island is, I think, with Telltale now.
Yeah, oh, but Grim Fandango is getting a remake.
Yeah, Grim Fandango is coming back, too.
So
imagine that kind of remake.
And that's actually an interesting story, because apparently, I was reading something, Tim Schafer had to call up a whole bunch of guys and get bits and pieces. They didn't have the master. They had to get a bunch of bits and pieces and rebuild it.
It's like Kingdom Hearts 1.
And like Kingdom Hearts 1, exactly.
They lost all the assets.
And I'm really, for me, it's like, wow.
That's a lot of work.
How disorganized are these game companies where they can't keep track of where all their master files are? Like, I can understand, like, if you're an employee, you get fired, you might take some of your work with you. But
if it belongs to you under contract.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Some of them just get lost in the nethers. I did hear that the guys who made Maniac Mansion and Day of the Tentacle are making another modern...
Well, isn't that Tim Schafer? Isn't that all Tim Schafer?
No, not Maniac Mansion.
I don't think Tim Schafer...
Tim Schafer was Grim Fandango.
Yeah, but he also did Monkey Island along with the guy who did Death Smack.
Yep.
What's the guy's name?
I forgot. Death Smack, that's his name.
It's not Death Smack.
Grim Fan Death Smack.
Ron Gilbert, that's his name.
Yeah, there you go, Ron Gilbert. I think he's the one making the Maniac Mansion. Star Wars.
If someone would do the same thing for Share games, that would be fab. Like, we got a new Gabriel Knight, which was cool.
Is it Share coming back?
Is it?
Yeah, I think there was some news about that like months ago where they're sort of alive somewhere.
Speaking of news, guys, sorry we don't have a lot to talk to you about.
Game of Thrones Telltale's coming out next week.
But there you go. The Game of Thrones game is coming out next week.
Amiibos are available in the Philippines. That's another one.
The head of Xbox Japan is stepping down. And that's no surprise, because Xbox is doing terribly. Has been doing terribly since the 360. Since the original Xbox,
Was that even in Japan?
The original Xbox?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was, because there were some Japanese Xbox games.
I don't know.
But apparently that guy's stepping down, and he's not getting fired. He's moving to the States. So what will the future be for Xbox in
Maybe
Japan?
more Japanese games for Xbox.
The thing is, they don't have the same push anymore as like with the 360.
Oh yeah, it's even weaker now.
Because the 360, at least they got like Square to make a bunch of JRPGs for them, right?
And all those shooters, don't forget.
And yeah, Cave got all the shooters, so they kind of niched themselves to a specific market. But yeah, I guess the PS3, PS4 is blowing.
Yep. Not even the Wii U's getting a lot of those.
Anyways, guys, let us know what you think about Star Wars. What you guys are hoping to see in the future? What were some of your favorite Star Wars games? Just let us know. I'm not sure what what Carlos usually plugs at the end of these.
I thought you were going to say something else.
No, he plugs it. Sorry, the website.
Yeah. So visit our site at toomuchgaming.net.
Yeah.
It's all spelled out. Words. What are words?
Words.
Like us on Facebook and Twitter. Too Much Gaming. Same. Then subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Subscribe.
Which is youtube.com/TMG blog.
Support us.
Or search Too Much Gaming and look for our new orange logo.
Our new orange logo is awesome.
We got a bunch of shit coming up.
Oh, we got something coming up for you for sure.
So many
we guarantee you will not find it anywhere else.
Speaking of Star Wars, we got that dumb Let's Play that I'm going to finish and set up. God, dude.
And I've got a review of a pretty cool visual novel as well that should be going up soon.
I'll see what I can do with any of the IGDA stuff I took there, but I'm not sure if I can work with that.
Alright, no worries.
I'm working on a video for Injustice PH, because we had an event last night, and came out really clean. Might have some ideas for that kind of setup in the future.
Nice. Not just for Injustice,
fighting games. Yeah, I found a setup that seemed to work. So yeah, new stuff coming along.
Awesome.
We're going to be, sometime in December, we're going to be out for
yes,
holidays.
We will be out for the holidays.
December 20th, maybe early Jan like last year.
Yep. And then,
so we got maybe one good episode left.
For the month of February, I will be gone. Yeah, but we got another 2 episodes for this year. Then we'll see you for the holidays. And we'll be back next
Carlos
year.
will be back next week.
Yep, so don't miss him too much.
He's coming back from space on his jet plane.
on his spaceship.
He's on fire right now, crashing down. He's gonna bust into this room somehow.
Yeah.
Well, we do this upcoming Let's Play, which I'm sure nobody else has done.
I guarantee no one else has done. And I guarantee you'll only find it here on our channel.
Yeah.
So, take it easy, guys. We'll
luck.
see you. Insert John Cena music here.
Yeah.
All right.
With the Amiibo hunts, y'all.
Take care. Bye-bye.
It's gonna be a few weeks.